What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be pretty simple, pretty short video. I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my experience over the weekend at Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, which was an amazing convention that I went to over the weekend. It was at the Center of Aviation Aircraft Museum in Long Island. It was a really cool place. The setup was extremely interesting. So as soon as you walked in the door, you would see a ton of different vendors. Everybody was selling everything from video games to art, which I got some really cool art while I was there, which I'll share with you in just a minute when I get into my pickups. But as soon as I got there, I met up with my buddy Avedon, who also I do a podcast with every Friday at 10:30. So if you guys aren't following Avedon Smith on YouTube, make sure to go check out his channel. I will leave a link in the description so you guys can go subscribe to that. And maybe you guys can catch the podcast every Friday at 10:30. But yeah, other than that, I got to meet up with my buddy RGT, Sean Long, some of you guys might know him as, and my buddy John from Spawn Wave. We all got to kind of experience this convention together, which was really awesome. It's really fun being able to go out and hang out with friends that you don't get to see too often, who are into the same things that you are, that kind of have the same, you know, hobbies. I guess you could say some doing much better than others, but hey, it was a blast being able to hang out with these guys again. So, you know, everything at this convention was extremely run to perfection. Everything from the tournaments, which my buddies over at Team Blockhead were running the tournaments, which they did a fantastic job. So shout out to Team Blockhead, my buddy Elias, who does an amazing job with streaming. These guys are, you know, top quality when it comes to streaming. So they ran a really awesome tournament. There was Smash Brothers, there was Soul Calibur, there was everything. Anything you could think of, there was a tournament for it. It was a blast. I can't even really go any further than that because that's the only word that you can use to describe it. It was just a blast. Another really cool thing that we got to do when we were at the convention was check out some of the awesome panels. I believe John Hancock had a panel. My buddy Square Painter had a really awesome panel where he was talking about some of the worst and best video game box art. It was absolutely hilarious. I think that was probably one of my favorite panels that I've ever been to. That panel was just amazing. So Square Painter, you and Tiny Ninja, you guys absolutely killed that panel. It was an amazing time. So other than that, I checked out John and Sean at their panel. So for RGT85 and Spawn Wave, they had a panel together. And in their panel room, it was actually really interesting because the way that the auditorium or theater, whatever the room was that they were set up in, the seating went almost up, like straight up a wall. It was kind of incredible. There was a very steep stair set, and then the seating went straight up almost. So if you actually stood up and fell forward, you were falling down all of these seats. You would be done basically. So that was an amazing time. Those guys had an absolutely amazing panel as well. I checked out C&D's panel. He brought in a lot of his friends that, you know, he met when he was doing the, you know, month-long waiting outside of Nintendo headquarters. Not Nintendo headquarters, but Nintendo World in New York, or Nintendo New York. I don't know what the name of that store is, but that was an amazing time too. They, you know, talked a lot about Smash Brothers and all the characters that they would like to see, or maybe potential characters that could end up happening in the future, and they had a lot of really cool suggestions, and a lot of the audience was, you know, throwing out really cool suggestions for characters as well. So that was a lot of fun. Funny story, actually. So that night, going back to my hotel room, I actually realized that Alex C&D was next door to me, and we were out in the hallway, and Alex came out and, you know, saw me in the hallway. He was like, "Hey, you want to come hang out?" And then we walk in, and, you know, everybody's hanging out playing Smash Brothers, and Etika was there, so I got to actually meet Etika and hang out with those guys for a little bit. But I didn't want to stay too late because it was getting pretty late. So I ended up meeting Etika, which was awesome. And you know, the next day of the convention, I ended up picking up some really cool items, which I actually will get into and show you guys right now. So let's get into the pickups portion of this video. I've already rambled enough about this convention. It was an absolute blast, like I said, but we're here to check out some pickups. So as I was there, you guys know that I'm a big Castlevania fan. So one game that I was missing, which is an absolute embarrassment. I don't know why I did not have this game before, but I ended up picking up Castlevania 1 on the NES. So this game was missing from my collection. I could have sworn I had this game the entire time. Maybe I ended up losing it, or maybe traded it at some point. I don't know why I would ever do that, but yeah, ended up picking up Castlevania 1. Another really cool game that I got was Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance, complete in box. I actually didn't spend as much as I did at Too Many Games this time around, so this was not too expensive. An amazing, amazing Game Boy Advance game. If you've never played this game, definitely check it out. If you can get it loose, it's definitely cheaper, but it was awesome because I found this complete in box. And another funny story, my buddy Square Painter actually ended up knocking this out of my hand when we were playing around outside, and stepping on the box, and I thought that it was busted, and I almost wanted to cry, but it ended up being totally fine. Didn't have any damage on it whatsoever. But Square Painter, come on, man, you almost ruined my game. It's not cool. One more pickup that I got was a Game Boy game that I needed, and it was Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. And this game, I don't know too much about it. I've never actually played any of the Game Boy games, but this was one that I needed. I'm almost on my way to the complete set of North American releases for the Castlevania series, so I'm excited about that. And my last and final pickup for Castlevania items at the convention, I do have one more Castlevania item that I picked up actually when I came home, but this is what I got. Now, this is a picture of basically when Dracula in the game Symphony of the Night, when he turns into the monster in the very beginning, this is what it is. Tiny Ninja basically is Square Painter's wife, and this picture was absolutely just calling out to me. I had to have it. They gave it to me pretty cheap, and you know, honestly, I would have been willing to pay more for it, but this picture is definitely going up behind me somewhere. I just got to find a place to put it. They are the most talented artists that I have seen at conventions. They are absolutely awesome. So make sure you go check out Tiny Ninja. That's her card right there. And you guys can check out some of their art, and make sure to check out Square Painter as well, because he does a lot of really cool stuff also. So my last and final pickup was actually not at the convention. I actually came home, and this game was actually traded into a store that I work at, and it is called Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. I don't know if we can focus there, but yeah, Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. I am looking for a box for this. If you guys have any tips on where I can get a replacement case for this that is actually legit, not a reproduction case, not something that somebody printed, make sure you guys leave that in the comment section, because I really want to get this case so I can make it complete. I don't like having loose DS games, especially not my Castlevania games. All of my Castlevania games on the DS are cased, so I really definitely want to make sure that I find a case for that so I can have it complete. So that is all of my Castlevania pickups from the convention. Now, when I was walking around the bag, there was a table from Video Games New York who had some really awesome stuff. They had like a Famicom system that had the disc system attached to it, the Famicom Twin system. They had a Neo Geo Omega system. They had so many really cool things. And me personally, I really love the Sega Saturn. So when I saw this item, I had to have it. It was at a very reasonable price. So after talking to Sean, I was like, hey man, do you think I should really pick this up? He was like, for that price? Yeah, absolutely. So I ended up picking up a arcade stick for the Sega Saturn for 30 bucks. And this Sega Saturn stick is brand new. Like, it has never been taken out of the box. It's never been taken out of the plastic. I mean, it may have been taken out of the box, but it's definitely never been taken out of the plastic, because it's still all wrapped up in there. It still even has the foam wrapped around the stick piece and everything. So for 30 bucks, I couldn't really pass it up. I absolutely love arcade games, especially my fighters, and I have a couple of arcade games on the Sega Saturn that I love to play, like Darkstalkers and Virtua Fighter, Fighters Mega Mix, so I needed to have this, so I ended up picking it up. Like I said, this video wasn't gonna be anything too in-depth or anything crazy, so I appreciate anybody who stuck around to this point. These were my pickups. That was my experience at Long Island Retro Gaming Expo. It was definitely a great con. I will definitely be there next year. So hopefully the channel grows. immensely so we can end up being on that guest list, but you know, that's an ambitious goal. But I'm sure that if we put some hard work in and get some more videos out, we can achieve that goal. So if you guys like this video, make sure to drop that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on another video. Thank you. All right, Sean, what are we doing?
We're spending way too much money because I'm an idiot, but I have to have this. And it's very clean, it's very beautiful, and now it's mine. I never thought I'd own one of these.